Hey, what is up guys? So today I want to talk about Galaxy Cyclone, and a lot of people are talking about it replacing MST. So it's going to be a discussion video, so I definitely want you guys to give your guys' opinions on this card. But anyways, sneak peek happened a while ago. We had the set for a few days now, and basically a lot of the hype prices all dropped. So people that were saying, oh my gosh, this card's going to completely flop, it's just a sneak peek hype card. The card is still holding its price. At the moment of making this video, it's sitting at about $20 to $30, and it's holding its price relatively well. So anyways, let's go ahead and read this card's effect. We'll talk about its upsides and its downsides, and we'll definitely compare it to MST because I think that is a card that some people are replacing Galaxy Cyclone with. So anyways, it's a normal spell card that says target one set spell trap card on the field, destroy it. And then during your main phase, except the turn this card was sent to the graveyard, you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one face-up spell trap card on the field, destroy it. You can only use this effect of Galaxy Cyclone once per turn. So right there, it technically plops one face down and one face up. Of course, those cannot be done during the same turn, which is kind of unfortunate, but that's definitely like an easy way to get a free +1 in this game. Now, there is one downside that I want to just talk about real quick, is that not only is it not a quick play, but in addition to that, it cannot target a face up immediately, and that's one huge benefit that MST has on this card, because sometimes there's one card, even though it's at 1, it can completely ruin you. Sometimes macro can also ruin you because, you know, obviously if macro's face up, then you're not going to be able to target that set macro unless you activate this immediately. But anyways, Vandy's Emptiness is a card where if your opponent special summons a bunch of cards and then they go ahead and say, oh, I flip up Vandy's as soon as your turn starts, you basically are in a very bad spot if you have Galaxy Cyclone rather than MST. MST is also a quick play that can be definitely used, but the main effect is that you get to target one spell or trap card on the field and you get to destroy that. And that's really good because it lets you get rid of a card immediately. Again, it could be macro, it could be a lot of different things. Whereas Galaxy Cyclone, you have to target that set card, and then you can actually target the face up. Now, I know, yes, of course, if Vandy is up and maybe they have another face down, yes, Galaxy Cyclone can target the set card, destroy that, and destroy Vandy's Emptiness, and then you have another, pop later on in the game. And I think that's really good. So I think Galaxy Cyclone, not necessarily is a cheesy card, but it is a little bit more of a risk, whereas MST, yeah, you can get rid of things much faster. Now, that's not to say Galaxy Cyclone is a bad card. I still think that it's a fantastic, easy card to use. There are other decks that can utilize this card much better than other decks. One excellent example would be something like Lightsworn. Of course, you're going to constantly mill cards. Sometimes you don't like MST because you send it to the graveyard. And with Galaxy Cyclone, that allows you to potentially get rid of some other problematic cards later. Again, if you're going first and your opponent goes ahead, they macro you later on, and you're able to send this card to the graveyard, again, like first turn or something like that, and then later down the line your opponent activates something that you can't deal with, this definitely has a little bit of utility with that. So I think decks like Lightsworn can definitely make better use of it. Decks like the Burning Abyss, maybe the Infernoids, or other decks can definitely make better use of the card than others. And I also want to mention that this card is not a quick play, so most of the time it's not too relevant because there are a lot of decks right now that don't have back row, but some certain archetypes, like for example like the Infernity archetype, there's a lot of times where they will add a specific card that you know that can completely wreck you. That card would be, say, something like Infernity Barrier. So if you know that they're going to set Infernity Barrier during their end phase, you can go ahead and MST that. Obviously, if they have multiple back row, you're kind of taking a chance with that. Maybe that you know that they're going to end phase set something that they need to activate as soon as your turn starts, whether it be a compulse or something like that. You're able to just get rid of it during the end phase. That's one upside MST also has. But I feel like Galaxy Cyclone is a much easier card to use. MST can technically still get you an advantage, and that is usually done by setting Mystical Space Typhoon while your opponent has a bunch of different back row. Eventually they activate something that destroys MST, you then chain MST, destroy another card. So MST, you can get some advantage off of it also, but it's a little bit more difficult to do. And Galaxy Cyclone is a much more simple card, and it gets you some advantage. And again, other decks can definitely make use of it better than certain decks, especially if you're playing like a slow deck that has no milling. This card can be not as beneficial as MST. But like I said, it all comes down to MST being able to get rid of the problem immediately, whereas this card, sometimes you can't get rid of that card because, of course, you're going to have to target a set card, whereas maybe Necro Valley is on the field and you can't do anything, and that's like the only face up, and face-up card, so you can't use this card at all. But anyways, I'd like to know your guys' thoughts down below in the comment section. What are some other archetypes that can maybe make better use of Galaxy Cyclone? Or would you guys replace your MSTs with this? Because that's where a lot of people are thinking the direction is going with this game as far as backward destruction, just running Galaxy Cyclones. And the OCG, they've been running Galaxy Cyclone as well. There was like I think it was Malaysia, there was a tournament where people were maxing out on this card. But I think this card is definitely good. I think, like I said, it's an easier card to use personally for me. You guys know I don't really like most of the decks that I run just run like the hand traps. I like hand traps because you can't MST the hand traps. But I think this card, for some decks, like I said, it definitely does replace MST, and I think it is easier to use, which I mentioned like 500 times in this video. I personally am on the fence with this. I think that I would rather play Galaxy Cyclone than MST, unless I'm going to a specific tournament that I know that everyone's going to be playing Vandy's Emptiness, and because that's just one card, but it is a card where like if they activate it, you lose sometimes, and like MST can help you out in those scenarios. But I like this card better, and I think that it can get you much easier advantage. But anyways, let me know, would you guys replace this, or what other archetypes would make a good use of Galaxy Cyclone over MST? But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Azneyes signing out.